Welcome to the Think Forward podcast, where we speak with futurists, innovators, and big thinkers. Come along with your host, Steve Fisher, and explore the future together.
Welcome to the Think Forward podcast, where we dive deep into the trends and technologies shaping our future. I'm your host, Steve Fisher, and today on episode 102, we're exploring an intriguing question. What exactly is a futurist? Join us as we journey through the realm of future thinking, understanding the role of futurists and how they impact our world. So let's dive in. To start off, a futurist is someone who studies possible, probable, and preferable futures. They look at patterns and trends and emerging technologies, how society, technology, economics, and environment might evolve. Now, it's important to note that futurism isn't about predicting the future with absolute certainty. Yeah, you get the predictions at the beginning of the year. I write them too, but it's not really futures. It's really kind of projection, forecasting out what's there in a short time frame. We look at different time frames, 5, 10, 15 years, depending on the rate of change in some industries and places where we work. It's more than just looking into a crystal ball. Futurists use a variety of tools and methodologies like scenario planning, trend analysis, and strategic foresight to make informed decisions. Now, let's move on and talk about the role of futurists. They're not just theorists. Many work with businesses, governments, and NGOs to create strategies that are resilient to future challenges. This is the kind of work I do. For companies, futurists can help in innovation. They can develop long-term strategy. If you're a policymaker, insights can inform regulations that guide technological development and mitigate future risks. To get some perspective, we should look at a brief history of futures and foresight as a field of study and application. So futurists come from all walks of life. They can be scientists, engineers, entrepreneurs, or even artists. There are those I might get into in a later podcast that call themselves futurists, but they really don't actually use the tools and actually do futures work. I digress. What unites the futurist is the methodological approach to forecasting and imagining future scenarios. They use a variety of tools and techniques, like I mentioned, trends analysis and scenario planning, but it helps individuals, organizations, and even society navigate the uncertainty of the future. The term futurist has existed for over 100 years, and it's gone through many forms. It was first coined by H.G. Wells in the 1920s, who recommended that all universities should actually have professors of foresight. Pretty cool, huh? Most thought it to be the realm of science fiction. But in the 1950s, with the Cold War heating up, strategists at the Pentagon, fearful of nuclear war with the Soviets, called upon the RAND Corporation to explore all of the possible scenarios in which this might occur in order to prevent it from happening. This is where scenario planning was born. Over the next 20 years, brilliant strategists like Herman Kahn and Pierre Wack used this for military and business strategy respectively. Pierre brought this into Shell Oil, where he used it to explore and explain possible futures where there was an OPEC embargo and an oil crisis. This helped Shell navigate the oil crisis in the 1970s, and futures and foresight was confirmed as a viable business tool, and the strategic foresight field became more mainstream. Over the decades of the 20th century, many quote-unquote futurists were born from the wacky visionaries to the truly brilliant people who saw tomorrow. People like Alvin Toffler, who saw the technology revolution decades before almost anyone. As the 21st century, we saw the field become quiet, not move forward that much. It almost died as a profession until the mid-2010s, when other aspects like design became key to communicating the future, and our world became more unstable and uncertain. Anyone listening to this has been affected by the pandemic of 2020. We suffered, and everyone saw that the world with tight supply chains and a stable world order saw it break down in just a few months. Following global wars and uncertainty has made us look at how we prepare for these possible futures. It seems futurists are needed more than ever to navigate these uncertainties of the future. With the pace of change accelerating, the work of futures is becoming more critical. They help us anticipate and adapt to changes like artificial intelligence, climate change, and societal shifts. Since you're listening and you're intrigued by this, how does one start thinking like a futurist? One key aspect is to cultivate a mindset of curiosity and open-mindedness. Start by observing the world around you. Identify trends. Ask what-if questions. This involves constantly learning. and staying informed about technological, environmental, and social developments. It's also about connecting the dots. I'm not talking beautiful mind kind of thing, but futurists often look at how different areas influence each other. It requires a multidisciplinary approach. So you might be thinking, how does one become a futurist? Well, there's no single path. It involves a combination of education, experience, and a forward-thinking mindset. Many futurists have backgrounds in fields like economics, engineering, or science, but what truly defines them is their curiosity about the future and a commitment to continuous learning. Finally, let's discuss the impact of futurism. The work of futurists has already influenced our world with countless examples. From the development of the internet to the rise of sustainable technology, futurists have played a role in shaping policy, business strategy, and societal norms. These contributions are woven into the fabric of our progress. As we face more complex challenges, the insights from futurists will be invaluable in guiding us toward a sustainable and prosperous future. As we wrap up today's episode, it's clear that futurists play a crucial role in our society. By imagining the possibilities of tomorrow, they help us navigate the complexity of today. Whether you're a technologist, a policymaker, or just someone curious about the future, embracing a futurist mindset can empower you to make more informed decisions and shape a better world. Now, there's much more to learn about being a futurist. From this Being a Futurist series to our conversations with other futurists and innovators and big thinkers, I want to thank you listeners for joining us on this journey into the future. Until next time, stay curious and always think forward.
Thanks for listening to the Think Forward podcast. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms and at www.thinkforwardshow.com, as well as on YouTube under Think Forward Show. See you next time.